The day my father died, my stepmother changed the locks. I was still wearing the black dress from his funeral when the security guard stopped me at the front gate of the lake house. "Sorry, miss, I was told not to let you in." "Don't let me in?" I had grown up in that house. My father built it when I was 10 years old, but through the iron gates I could see my stepmother, Karen, sitting on the porch, drinking champagne with my stepbrother, Jason, as if they had just won the lottery. Karen stood up slowly and smiled. Not a sad smile, a victory smile. "Oh sweetie, didn't the lawyer call you?" she said loudly from the porch. "What are you talking about?" She laughed. "Your father changed the will last month. The house, the business, the lake property, everything is mine now." My stomach dropped. "That's impossible." Jason raised his glass toward me. "Guess you should have visited Dad more often." People at the funeral were still texting me condolences while my own family was throwing a celebration party inside my father's house. Karen walked closer to the gate. "You can come back for your things tomorrow. I'll have someone pack them." "My things?" I said. "Your clothes, maybe a few childhood photos if we find them." Then she leaned closer to the bars. "Everything else belongs to us now." The gate closed behind the guard. And just like that, I was homeless. That night, I slept in my car outside a gas station, not because I had nowhere to go, but because I couldn't believe what had just happened. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Hello? Hi, is this Olivia Carter?" "Yes. This is Michael Green. I'm your father's attorney." My heart started racing. "You're the one who changed the will?" Silence. Then he said something that changed everything. "I didn't call to discuss the will, I called because something about it doesn't make sense." I sat up. "What do you mean?" "I've handled your father's legal affairs for 20 years. He loved you more than anything, so why did he leave me nothing?" Another pause. "That's exactly the problem." He lowered his voice. "I don't believe your father signed that document." My blood went cold. "You're saying the will is fake?" "I'm saying we need to investigate, for the first time since the funeral." I smiled, because if Karen thought she had won, she had no idea who she had just declared war on. 3 weeks later, I walked into my father's company headquarters, except this time, I wasn't alone. Michael Green walked beside me, carrying a thick folder. Karen and Jason were already inside the conference room. Karen looked up from the table and froze. "What is she doing here?" Jason smirked. "Didn't we kick you out already?" Michael placed the folder on the table. "We're here regarding the validity of Robert Carter's will." Karen rolled her eyes. "Oh, please, this again?" Michael slid a document across the table. "Because the signature on the will doesn't match Robert Carter's signature on any legal record from the past 15 years. Jason's smile disappeared. Karen's voice got sharper. "Are you accusing us of something?" Michael didn't blink. "I'm stating that the will is now under forensic review." The room went silent. Karen suddenly laughed. "You think a handwriting test will save you?" Then she leaned back confidently. "Even if the will was challenged, it's too late." "Why?" I asked. Jason smirked again. "Because we already sold half the company." My chest tightened. "You what?" Karen slid another paper toward me. 2 weeks ago, my father's company, the one he built from nothing, was already being dismantled. Karen watched my reaction carefully. "You should move on, Olivia. This isn't your world anymore." But Michael wasn't finished. He pulled one last document from the folder. "Actually, there's one more thing." Karen looked annoyed. "What now?" "A trust." The room froze. Jason frowned. "What trust?" Michael adjusted his glasses. "Robert Carter created a private trust 6 months ago." Karen's confidence cracked. "And?" Michael looked directly at me. "Your father placed 51% of the company shares in that trust." Jason slammed the table. "That's impossible," Michael calmly replied. "And the sole beneficiary?" Karen whispered. "No." Michael finished the sentence. "Is Olivia Carter." Jason's face went pale. Karen stood up so fast her chair fell over. "You're lying." Michael slid the final document across the table, with your father's original signature. Karen grabbed the papers with shaking hands, because the truth had finally arrived. She never owned the company. She never owned the power. She had just spent weeks selling assets she didn't legally control, And that meant something very simple: they hadn't stolen from me, they had stolen from me, which meant they had just committed fraud, and now they were trapped. 6 months later, Karen walked into a courtroom wearing the same expensive clothes she used to wear at charity galas, except now reporters were following her. "Karen, did you forge the will? Did you steal the company? Are you going to prison?" Jason tried to push through the crowd, but the cameras kept flashing, because the story had gone viral. Billionaire's widow accused of stealing inheritance from daughter. Inside the courtroom, Karen looked smaller than I remembered. Her lawyer whispered something to her, then the judge entered. "Karen Carter and Jason Carter, you are charged with fraud, forgery, and illegal asset liquidation." Jason stood up angrily. "This is ridiculous," but the judge wasn't interested. "Sit down." The prosecutor walked to the center of the room. "We have bank transfers, falsified documents, and witnesses proving the will was forged." Karen's face turned white. Then the prosecutor added the final blow: "And the proceeds from the illegally sold company shares have already been recovered." Jason turned to Karen in panic. "Wait, what?" The prosecutor pointed toward me. "They belong to Olivia Carter." Karen slowly turned around, and for the first time since my father's funeral, she looked at me with fear, because everything she had taken was gone. The judge's voice echoed through the courtroom. "Karen Carter, you are sentenced to 8 years in federal prison." Gasps filled the room. "Jason Carter, 5 years." Jason collapsed into his chair. Karen started crying, but I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel angry either. I just felt finished. As I walked outside, reporters surrounded me. "Olivia, what will you do with the company now?" I looked toward the skyline. The same company my father built, the same company they tried to steal from. "I'm going to rebuild it." Then I added one last sentence: "And this time the right Carter is in charge."